All right, what's up, everybody? I am Stuart Anderson, and this is episode 127 of the Mi Duole Team Podcast. We are grateful to have Joe Cardon on today. Grateful for Joe and his leadership of Zone 5. We're thankful for Zone 5, kind of a sister club here in Salt Lake City as part of the cycling community. They are everywhere. They're a huge part of this community, a huge part of all of the races, the events, and just their influence. Joe led the team this year, and I believe maybe one more year, or he led it last year, but you'll hear about that story, how Zone 5 leads their team, how they're created. But what an incredible group. Thankful for Joe, thankful for the story he shares about his own personal journey, his cycling journey, his professional journey. I love getting to know him, and I hope you do the same. A lot of respect for him and his club and everyone on Zone 5. So thanks for listening and being a part of this podcast as we expand this community and get to know each other a little better. Thankful for all of our sponsors. Mi Duole it cannot function without the business sponsors, which make it possible. We're re-upping for 2026, and everybody's back. We're thankful to have them, especially our title sponsors, cyclingupgrades.com and Corby. We're thankful for all of our awesome sponsors that make it possible. We're back on Zwift, as sad as it sounds. The season's kind of coming to a dark, cold ending, and we're back on Zwift as a team, which is incredible. Very fun, a lot of new upgrades and changes. So if you are listening to this and you are not invited or part of the Mi Duole Zwift calendar or invites, please reach out. It's a big group, very inclusive, a lot of different ways to participate with the team on Zwift. It's a huge part of our culture and what makes our team so fun. So grateful for those of the team who are working that system. Clark, Justin, Jack, all huge parts of the creation of events and the creation of the culture on Zwift as we roll into that. So you're invited to be part of that. Team Camp, the dates have been set. We're looking at 2026 already, and the new team kits for 2026 are going to be released soon. Very fun to release the white kits, as well as our camp jersey, like we did last year. When you pay the team fee to be part of Mi Duole, it includes now your participation in team camp in the spring and a team jersey, again, made possible by our sponsors. Thankful for them that make it financially possible for us to share a jersey at camp. Very fun. So anyway, lots of updates. I've gone on too long, but thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to Joe. Grateful for his friendship and leadership in the cycling community. Very fun to be with him for this hour. Hopefully you all enjoy it. Thanks. All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? I think we're episode 127. Grateful to be with you. I'm here with Joe. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. Faithful listener. Jason Lang, I would say, is one of my most faithful podcast listeners. But outside the team, Joe, you are very... I think that's what led you here to be on with us today, is your your faithfulness in listening to the Mi Duole podcast. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys did a podcast once with Mike Broderick on our team, and
we did.
And I one of the team members like, you guys got to check this out. This is cool. And then I was like, dang, these are great, and started listening. And I've done LOTOJA over the years, and just had a bunch of buddies that I've ridden with, and it's been fun.
Very cool
to hear these.
Maybe just brief introduction for people that don't know you or that are not watching the video. Do you want to do that real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So Joe Cardon, I live in Provo, and been here 20-something years, served a mission in the Dominican Republic, went to school here in Provo, and met my wife. She's from New York, and I was from Idaho. She didn't want to move to Idaho, and I didn't want to move to New York, so we just stayed here. And
nice.
Been into cycling for about eight years, I think now. A friend at work and my brother kind of introduced me to the sport. So
very cool. Yeah. Well, if you're in Utah cycling and you don't know who Joe is, or you haven't seen him, you are under a rock, or you're not doing it properly, because you are, in the groups that I travel in, right, you are involved in so many things as part of this community? Kind of the same, like me and you are kind of like treading the same path in different places.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I see you or run into you or hear about you in so many different places. But if there's one thing I know is that I mean, your passion for the community that you're involved with, and then obviously your passion for cycling are two huge aspects of your life, which I hope obviously we're going to dig into today, talk about today, kind of your journey. Hopefully you can tell your story a bit about how it started and what you do now. That might be a good segue here is talk about your involvement with Zone 5, just like real quick. That's kind of how we're connected. You want to talk about that for a sec?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So this year, 2025, I was the president of Zone 5. I've been on the team for I think 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I'm passing the torch over
Uh,
to Steve Lowe. So
okay.
he's going to be the president in 2026, and I'll be the VP just to kind of help him out on some of
Okay.
the institutional knowledge you acquire as running the
Yeah.
team. But we kind of rotate on the team who's the
Okay. Okay.
president.
We got to pause. Okay. How does that, how do you guys do that? Tell me more about that. How does Zone 5
Well,
manage?
well, Mike Russell was our president when I started. He's a
Yeah.
stallion. He got me started, well, and he just it takes a lot of time and effort, and between cycling itself and then running the team and then church and coaching sports and your day job, all the things, it's a lot, so we kind of fell into this routine of rotating every year between who is the president. We're kind of moving that to like a every 2 year
Hmm.
kind of cadence, just because you do learn a lot your first year and make a lot of mistakes and learn things along the way. And so, yeah. So,
Do you guys run the team as a 501(c)(3)? Is that how you run it? Is it run as a charity? Can you,
yeah, I mean,
okay.
ultimately it's run as a nonprofit, I think.
Nonprofit.
Yeah,
Okay.
nonprofit. Yeah. So we have a
Okay.
treasurer take care of all of that,
How do you get, do they bribe you with like a pair of bibs? Like
Yeah, I know, right?
what do you get? What do you
Well,
get?
you just have to have a low enough IQ for them to just be able to talk you into taking the job. No, ultimately, it's just fun. One
Yeah.
of my passions that I love about cycling is when I got into it, a friend of mine, Curtis Miner, Craig Collier, what used to be, my brother Ben Cardon, a handful of guys just kind of taught me the sport, and I had such a fun time.
Mm.
2017 was my first year cycling, and it just blew my mind how fun it was. So for me, it's just cool to introduce people to the sport and help people dip their toe into it and get involved. So for me,
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the things that I like. I do have a kind of a passion for helping people hit their goals, whether it's like work or that's a big part of what I do for my job, my day job, but
Yeah.
also, church or teaching kids at sports or whatever. It's just fun seeing people excel and grow. So, um, I was able to do some of that through being the president of Zone 5.
Cool. Cool. It's a fun, I mean, the reason I hope I'm going to ask more questions about Zone 5 after we get to know you a little better is because I am Chip and I with Mi Duele. There is no plan for leadership inside our group,
Well, you guys
which is
seem to be doing really well. I mean,
me laughing because it is it's a I like the idea, right? It's like Mike Russell. When I watched him, I was like, dang, Mike, this is your life, you know?
mhm.
What a fun thing to be able to share that with other people's passion and like your attitude, what you bring into that as a leader. So yeah, maybe off camera we'll just talk about changing Mi Duele into a nonprofit. So
Sure, yeah, we
need a
can
board.
jump into it. Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about your backstory for a little bit? I asked you that in our we have a little Google Doc we're sharing.
you want to talk about that? Where you grew up, early years?
Yeah.
That's fun. Let's just do that for a second.
Yeah. So I grew up in Pocatello, Idaho. And just from an early age was pretty into riding bikes. Like my older brother, Ben, I'd referenced him earlier. He liked riding bikes, and just like a lot of other kids grew up in the 80s and 90s. It just gives you freedom. You can go and hang out with your buddies, different neighborhoods, different places across town, all the things. But we lived in like the foothills. So a block away, you're up in the dirt roads, and like, so we built all these crazy tracks that were like, I mean, they're like natural half pipes and stuff, because they were like these gullies that go super steep down and super steep up. And we built all these sweet jumps and tracks, and we just spent a lot of time doing that. And I eventually, I was always competing. My oldest brother's 4 years older than me, and I was always kind of hanging onto the tiger's tail, trying to keep up with him and my cousins and his friends, so that was fun. And then ultimately he saved up working on the farm with my dad to buy a motorcycle. And then I was like, okay, that's cool, I gotta do that too. I was the little brother, like from Sandlot, that's like, what is the copies his older brother all the time. So I saved up, mowed lawns, did all the things, and got a dirt bike as well. So we grew up, whether it's dirt bikes or BMXs, we were just hitting the trails all the time. And so that was a big, I don't know, influence on getting me into cycling today. And I wasn't really into all the other, like basketball and stuff. I'd like ride my bike or my dirt bike to scouts, and I'd be like, what are we doing? Playing basketball.
Yeah, I'm out.
So anyway, that was fun. And eventually we moved to Washington State, which is where mountain bikes kind of came into this scenario. Because my grandma was like, poor Joe, he's gonna move away from all of his friends. And so she bought me like a hard-nosed hardtail cherry red Cannondale, and back when they were like handmade in Pennsylvania and beautiful, right? So anyway, I rode that thing around, rode the wheels off of that, and then from there just kind of got older, went on my mission, got married, all that stuff. And
mission to where?
Dominican Republic. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Dominican Republic. And didn't really get back into cycling until my 30s. So, but that's a little bit, a little bit about me.
Cool. What part of the Dominican were you in?
I was in Santiago, so
okay.
El Cibao.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I don't know. Well, we do 4 humanitarian trips a year to the Dominican with Crown Council's humanitarian dental trips.
Nice.
So I've been there a few times. So that's cool. Very good.
Hey, you need a translator, man. I'm there. No, it's funny. I did go back this year, and it was really fun because I left April of 2004 when I was 21, and returned at 40, in April when I was 42. So it's kind of like half my life difference.
Half your life away, yeah.
But it was so cool. The people were like so stoked to see me. And honestly, like, it was the coolest thing. It was like I never left.
So good.
So my wife is actually from Ecuador. So that's
okay.
But so I get a chance to keep the Spanish fresh. She speaks better English than I speak Spanish, but at least we get to keep it in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Last time we went to Samana, like up in the north, I think that's northeast. That's funny, like little peninsula. But that was 2 years ago. I've been, so it's been almost 2 years since we've been back with our humanitarian.
Man.
Yeah. Beautiful up there. So very good.
I live close to that in one of my areas. I lived in Nagua, which is just maybe an hour west on the coast.
Cool. Very good.
So it's pretty good. It's pretty rad.
All right, I know Rob Stratton. You want to talk about him for a sec? This is a good segue into. It's a good segue into like some of these experiences you've had. You want to talk about that? What got you started here back into it?
Maybe I'll give you the whole story of how I got back in and just kind of roll through. So So essentially, my brother, we go to Wallowa Lake, Oregon for a family reunion every year.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's where Chief Joseph was buried, chose to live out the rest of his days and is buried. But he was like, dude, I'm gonna bring a road bike up, because he had just bought one. And he had a friend that was cool enough to lend his bike to him. I wouldn't lend my bike to somebody, but my brother's buddy did. And so he brings up gear and everything. We're about the same size. And he takes me on a ride, and I'm like, my mind is absolutely blown about how, I mean, one, it was beautiful area, right? So you get to see this beautiful area. Two, like, you're going so fast and it's so sustainable. We went on a 30-mile ride, and I got back and I was like, dude, how did we do that in like an hour and a half? That's crazy. So just one ride, and I was like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that winter, my brother's like, I think I'm going to do LOTOJA next year. It's this 200-mile bike race.
Yeah. Why not?
And I was like, well, if you do, I'll do it.
Yeah. My first race.
Like,
why not? Let's do it.
We're in. I just registered. And I was like, oh crap. What did I just sign up for? Doing some 200-mile race. I don't even have a bike,
Yeah.
So I like looked on KSL, and my friend Craig Collier that I worked with, he rides a lot with Trizon, helped me pick it out. And I got a Roubaix, 2010 Roubaix. I was all stoked because it was like $700, but it was all full carbon, and the whole thing.
Did it have the little plastic things in the You remember when the Roubaix had those?
The Zerts. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's, I mean, TBD on if that's marketing skills or what. Do those work? I don't know. But,
I love that.
But yeah, I totally had those. And
Cool.
in the seat post too, I think.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah. So anyway, I got that and signed up for LOTOJA. I did like a ride around the lake solo. I'd never ridden with anybody, but I did it, and I think I averaged like 19 and a half or something,
Okay.
and my buddy at work was like, you almost average 20 miles an hour by yourself. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you need to ride LOTOJA with us. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's kind of when my brother and I did LOTOJA that year. The goal was like sub 10. We can talk about that maybe once we get to the LOTOJA.
Yeah.
But then, after riding a little bit, I kind of crossed paths with the Nebo group.
Okay.
So Rob Stratton, definitely one of my favorite human beings out there. Just such a good guy. He's the president over Nebo, and just so awesome. Getting me started like in the cycling world. Just had a lot of faith in me, and helped me out. Like I tell this story sometimes to the youth or at work, but I keep this jersey here. But Rob was like getting me into riding and stuff. And he's like, dude, you need a race. And I was like,
do I?
Yeah. And he's like, and in my mind, I'm thinking like, he's like, are you gonna do the Sugar House State Championship? And I was like, no, I would get murdered. Like, why would I go and race? And I had no confidence in myself really that I could compete. But he was like, no, dude, like you could win. And I was like, really? Because I trusted Rob. And he was like, dude, I want to see you wearing the green jersey, bro. Like you could sign up for that and win that race.
Wow.
So like, I was like, all right. Like I kind of trusted him, even though I was kind of nervous about it. I'd never really done any real racing. So anyway, I showed up and got the dub.
Look at this.
So he's like, so every time, I think about helping people get started in the sport, I think about Rob and, how much confidence somebody like you can gain if somebody else believes in you, how that can help you do things that you wouldn't have done on your own. You know what I mean? So, it's just funny because he cast that vision, like, I want to see you win that green jersey. And it was cool that I got it.
That's cool.
So I was like, it was kind of at that moment in time where I was like, I could actually be good at this, like if maybe I should do some more racing. Right. So that kind of helped cue things up for getting into it a little bit more seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there, even before then, like that Bank of American Fork group was just a really strong club, and just great guys. Like there's Curtis Minor.
Curtis,
I always call him like basically like Master Yoda, because he just taught me all the ways of the force, and like was really patient and cool, and great about mentoring me on how to ride in a pace line, or how to take care of my gear, or what kind of gear to get. And there's a lot of stuff that you need to learn in cycling, whether it's like safety or tactics, or how to train, how to get faster, what kind of gear to use, all of that. So yeah, it's cool to see how people have helped me. But then I raced for a while with Nebo, and then when I was like, I want to push this maybe to the next level and see how far I can go, that's when I jumped over to Zone 5. And Mike Russell was great. He set me up like for success right away. It was like, hey, you're gonna race the Cat 3s, this is your first Cat 3 race, but you're a guy, we're racing for you, you're gonna go.
Cool.
And I was like, oh shoot,
okay,
I don't want that kind of pressure. But they did, they set me up. I was able to get the win on the race. And the Zone 5 guys are great, in terms of just collaboration, cooperation, just being cool people. And
cool.
So then since then, I've just been trying to help other people in similar ways. I
love that.
So
okay, well, we got to go back. You got to finish LOTOJA, your first here. You've got this Roubaix, and I want to know how this pans out. Like, were you prepared? I have the Strava file ready. I've gone and found your actual. Yeah. So let's hear how it went.
It's funny. So the goal was that the group, like, we want to do this in under 10 hours. And I'd never done it before. I'd been cycling for like 5 months, you know what I mean? Before the race. So anyway, I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. And I'm nervous about it because it's a double century. I've never done something like that, but it's cool. My friends are there, my brother's there, riding in the same race group as me. Before we get to the whole thing, I got to give you my brother's deal. This cat shows up to LOTOJA, first race. I mean, the first like race he's done
ever.
Yeah, and he had like 400 log miles in the year, like before the ride.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like nervous. I'm like, I'd trained pretty hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I wasn't worried so much about me. I was worried about me, but I was really worried about him. Homeboy like stops, he's like doing like the 13-minute stops, and like stops to drop the kiddies off the pool. He does all these things. I'm like, all right. He finishes in like 11 hours flat, essentially, with 400 miles of training.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's a tough cowboy. But anyway, so my deal was, I show up, his family had the stomach flu. I stayed at his place.
Oh no.
So the day of the race, I'm feeling like stomach flu, like all the symptoms that you would have to have with that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy, like, can I even do this now? Like, I'm sick. My wife's gonna be pissed because the registration's like several $100. I paid for hotels, I've traveled, took time off, did all the things, and like, I'm just not even gonna do finish it. So I'm feeling pretty sketched. But like, at one point in time, like, this kind of thought came through my head, and I use this in races or hard rides to this day. It's like, just this thought of like, choose to have faith, and
just keep going.
Just choose to have faith. Like, God knows you've put in all this work, and it matters a lot to you. And like, just choose to have faith. So I kind of, every time this negative thoughts would come in. I'm like, I'm feeling sick, whatever. It was like, have faith, it's good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm like, just repeating this throughout my head. But about like, I don't know, 50 miles in, my stomach starts feeling good again.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm good. But the group that I'm in is starting to hurt. And these guys are like LOTOJA,
Veterans.
yeah, veterans, right? They've done it 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah.
They're like, I've never been so sore. This sucks. We're behind, blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, like all these things starts happening where it's not ideal, right? But I'm telling you, this is like almost like the most spiritual experience I've had. You know what I mean? And this dude rides up in front of us, and he has this tattoo on his arm, and it says, "Have faith, do not relent."
No way.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It shows. So I'm like, all right, I'm listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we get past Afton, and we're maybe about 5 minutes past where we should be to do a sub 10. So we're in the ballpark, but it's slipping away. And I get a flat tire, and the group's like, dude, can you catch us? And I'm like, yeah, I can catch you guys. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm kind of repeating this phrase in my head, have faith, do not relent, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
And I change the tire, and then I ride 200 yards, and then the tire pops again.
No.
And I'm like, gosh, dang it, I cannot win. And I'm starting to like, go in full on panic mode, because the game plan was, if somebody flats once, just change it. If you flat twice, someone in the group can help you. But I had nobody in the group anymore. You know what I mean? I was gone. I mean, they were gone. So I'm thinking like, I'm hosed. And that phrase kind of came back to my head, like, have faith, do not relent, and as soon as I was like, okay, I can do this, I've got this, and like changed my mindset. Like, a lady pulls over in this like red burgundy Buick and is like, do you need help? And I'm like, I do, my tire's flat, I don't have a tube anymore. And I was thinking like, that's sweet of you, lady, but yeah, what are you gonna do to help me?
Yeah.
And she's like, here you go. She had like a tube, pops it out.
No way.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like, anyway, she whips out a track pump. You know what I mean? Because I'd used my CO2, was gone.
Yeah.
Gets me on, back in business again. And then I just kind of went in the pain cave. I'm like, I will do this. Like, I will get the sub 10. So I get all the way back to the finish in 9:59:47, and I just squeak by with 17 seconds left to spare, get my goal. But it was just such a cool, if you've never done LOTOJA, it's hard to explain the feelings when you get done, you know what I mean? Especially your first time. But anyway, yeah, that's the Bank of American Fork crew right there.
Look at these guys.
Yeah. So
dude, look at your star socks. If you guys are watching video, you got to see these kids.
We got star socks, man. Those were my lucky socks for forever, until they got too like grody to be passable anymore. But yeah, so
dude, awesome.
Anyway, I mean, you could see my moving times 9:39, but I actually didn't come across the finish until 9:59. Because of the flat tires and stuff. But yeah, fun. So that was a blast. That was kind of my intro to LOTOJA, and the group did really well. Cool. I think my brother kind of was like, I'm not going to get the sub 10, but to this day, I'm like, I think your 400 miles of training and 11 finish time is more impressive than my like A group podium. You know what I mean? Like,
he did half of his yearly miles in a single day.
Exactly. So good. Yeah, he's tough dude.
So funny.
Yeah, but
I know you've had others. Do you want to just run through them quick? I mean, it seems like this is a big part of your yearly plan.
Yeah.
I mean, is this still a thing that you're shooting for?
I definitely have a love-hate relationship with LOTOJA, because I always tell people that it's like 3 parts prep, 1 part luck. And it's like
For sure.
everything, you could be the strongest guy and get smoked because you got a flat tire or whatever, you know. I've done it 6 times and gotten 3 flats, you know. So it's, you know, it's just how the cookie crumbles in a 200-mile race. You know, you guys, if you haven't heard the episode with Justin Spangler, he talks a little bit about LOTOJA and some of the misfortunes. The guy won the whole thing, but he's also had some pretty tragic experiences.
He has.
So it doesn't always go your way, but that's really where my relationship with Mi Duole's kind of came in, you know. So 2021, I did LOTOJA, and Lang was there.
Doug.
Doug Brower, I think a handful of other guys, you know, there was a full squad, but you know, they were all there. And it was the year that COVID was like a thing. So they were scanning everybody, checking temperatures and making sure everybody was good, you know. And so I was like, all right, we're good. But it rained like the first 100 miles. This was 35A, so 1 through, you know, cat 1 through 4. And I show up to this thing, and I'm like, all right, it's raining. Pro tip though, my brother's smart. Like he gave me some clear glasses and sprayed them with Rain-X before.
Oh wow.
And
very
like,
smart.
The rain was like perfect. I was like, all
very
right,
smart.
You know,
Rain-X.
So if it rains, you know, slap that Rain-X on your glasses and you're gonna be like cooking. So
great tip.
But it was cold, you know. Guys were dropping out because they just weren't able to deal with the cold. And about halfway in, I'm starting to feel like absolute garbage. so I'm like, oh no. And I realize this is more than just fatigue. Like I'm actually sick.
Sick, yeah.
So anyway, we get to the finish, and these guys from Portland were like Cat 1 racers, like 10,000 miles on their legs.
Yeah.
Like one TT'd away from the bike path to the finish, like 7 miles at like 330 watts. Like, so they're just there was like 5 or 6 Mi Duole guys with me, and I was like, I'm gonna let them chase because I'm the only guy in my team here. So they did a valiant effort chasing, but we didn't catch them, and ended up getting I think I got 3rd place that year. Their other Cat 1 guy got 2nd, which bothered me. But I, you know, that's one of those experiences when you're talking with your kids and they're like, I'm tired, and I'm like, if I can race 200 miles in the rain with COVID, you know, you can fold your clothes. You know? but no, it's one of those. That was my first experience though, working with like Jason Lang and them, and honestly just really having a lot of respect for the team, because
that's cool.
Even though you're competitors, like you become really good friends at LOTOJA. Like the people I've done LOTOJA with are some of my favorite friends today. You know what I mean? And you just become buddies over 9 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just how it works.
Yeah. So that was a good one.
Cool.
I did LOTOJA. I've podiumed a couple times, gotten 2nd. I did flat 1 year. And my buddy was a cycling coach. He's like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm good. I just like worried about the crap I can't control, like flat tires and stuff. And he's like, practice changing flat tires, bro. Like, this is before I had tubeless, you know, so I had clinchers, and I think this was 2019. So I like started practicing flats, and I could change them like under 3 minutes. So I was back on the road, you know. And sure enough, like this dude in the lead group with me was just kind of riding in the red and was riding beyond his ability. and rode us through this massive pothole series,
No.
Yeah, and they were all tubeless, so they just rolled through, but I pinch flatted. I didn't realize it, but the potholes were bad enough to knock my water bottles out of my cages too. So like they were bad. And yeah, the guy was like not with it, So the coach was like, if you flat, like just tell yourself you're never out of the game,
Huh.
and just be willing to go in the pain cave. And so I was like, all right. So I changed the flat super quick, probably 2.5 minutes, and I'm back on the bike.
Yeah.
But I'm riding, and then I realized, oh, my water bottles are gone. I don't have them anymore. And this is the part that was cool about the people who help with the race, whether it's the lady, in the Buick that gave you the tire or the tube, but the race official saw what happened. And he like flipped a Yui and went back and picked up my water bottles out of my cages.
Nice.
So I'm just like in TT mode, like chasing, regardless. I'm like, I'm going to try and catch these guys. And the moto rolls up and he's like, here's your water bottles, man. And I was like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I caught him. And I was able to get second that year, which was cool. But and then the next, probably most eventful LOTOJA was 2023 with Spangler, with Lane, with the whole Mi Duole posse. Like
sub 9.
You guys had a baller group show up. Yeah. I had gotten to the point where I used to do like a spreadsheet and like I would like do the research on everyone. I would look at the race results. I would look at like their Strava, how many miles, elevation gain, like I would grade them, their threat level, and it was like, I kind of just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I just don't care.
I don't want to look anymore.
I don't, it's just freaks you out. You're not going to change
That's so funny.
You'll find out who's who when you get there,
Yeah.
So I didn't that year, thankfully, because I would have like had nightmares about Spangler in my sleep because he's so strong. But like so I show up and we're riding towards through Logan on our way to, no, it was Preston, through Preston on our way to Strawberry Climb. And one of the guys on the team was like, yeah, our goal is like sub 8:45. And I was like,
oh yeah, okay.
Sign me up. Really. I was like, I'm down. Because I was like, if I don't podium or win, I'll be happy with that time. So there's really no losing for me if I can make that happen. But I will say this, like Spangler was on the front and I'm like, who's Captain America up here? He's going to be dead, by the time we get to, Preston, you know what I mean? And I just didn't know who he was, you know what I mean? So he was just an absolute unit that year. And we ended up finishing at 8:42 was the finish.
Incredible. So good.
Me and Lang got dropped on salt. He dropped his chain and I'm just fat. So so I just, wasn't fast enough to stay with the lead group on salt, but I'm a pretty fast ascender. And anyway, so me and Lang were hit hard. We caught a handful of guys, but you got like Spangler and 6 or 7 guys off the front. And it was like, I could tell several of the Mi Duole crew was like, because they knew who was up there, you know what I mean? But like Jack Warren, me and Lang were like not letting go of the dream. so we eventually were able to get back up with the lead group. And but I was just cooked. There's no sprint legs for me. Like they were full on locked up legs when I got to the finish.
When you got to the sprint.
That's the tough thing, for me. Like some years you get to the finish and you've got great sprint legs, and then the other days you'll get there and you're full on cramping up. And I haven't really figured out the whole cramp scene yet or how to fix that,
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
No one has.
Yeah, I
Who
know,
knows?
right? I know. Yeah, I know. Scientists are still trying to figure that one out, but
That's
that's kind
good.
of like my LOTOJA
Yeah. Fun.
experiences. Wrap.
Uh, for now, I mean, you're experienced. One of the questions that I think is fun to ask here is when it comes time to give advice or things that you've learned about getting faster, training. You've got some interesting notes here about like you used to have a coach. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that kind of that progression of knowledge of what is it that you think makes this sport? Um, like what is success to you? Like
Yeah.
how does that work
That's
for you?
that's an interesting question because it's changed for me personally. Like before it was like I want to see if I can win races,
Mm,
and for a while there I was like maybe I could become a cat 3 rider, you know. And then it was like I said, my first race, Russell sets me up to win a cat 3 race. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to change my goal. You know what I mean? And you start kind of changing your goal of what they are. For me, it's kind of shifted a lot. Success looks more like having fun on the bike, helping other people,
mm,
still riding fast, still achieving, fun things, maybe racing, but winning
mm,
races is no longer what success looks like for me
mm.
uniquely in
Yeah.
cycling. Part of that's just because this would be my advice for like dads out there. So I've got 2 kids, both teenagers, and my daughter's now graduated from high school, just graduated um, in the spring, and it just goes by so fast, ultimately. And for me, I don't think it will ever really matter if I got on a LOTOJA podium or whatever in
Mm,
20 years from now. it's I'm not going to be Uncle Rico talking about the old good old days. So but what will matter is if you were there when your kids in that are teenagers needed you, and it's such a fleeting time. Like it feels like you blink your eyes and they're growing up. So I've had years where I'm like, I'm not doing LOTOJA this year. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the family. Like last year I you know decided my son asked me to coach the 8th grade football team.
mm.
So I was like, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
kind of learned with my daughter, if your teenager wants to hang out with you,
you do
don't
it.
say no. you
Yeah.
know so I coached the football team and the basketball team. So goals shift, and that's fine, but I think it is important to write them down and to share them with other people. That helps you
Yeah.
um, achieve them, I think, at a higher level. So if somebody is wanting to get faster and stronger, and reach specific goals, that's a little bit different than maybe what success on the mountain bike or on the bike looks like. So in that regard, I think there's a certain level of truth to this where it's just like you got to put in the miles. you know um when I've gotten beaten by guys in races, which has happened plenty of times, I sometimes feeling bad about myself, and then I look at the mileage of the guys who won, and I'm like, dude, they
Oh,
paid the fiddler. I did not. They
yeah.
had way more miles than me, or they put in way more
Mm,
work. And um I look at people like Spangler or Matt Clark or different guys in the area, Matthew Left Hand, all these like prodigiously
mm,
strong guys, and they're doing crazy volume, you know. Um, but I like to do it the way I've kind of shifted it from going from a coach that was like highly structured. It just sapped all the energy out of my
mm,
rides. I just was what I loved about cycling is feeling the wind on my face and you know having the sun and wind on my face, enjoying some of the speed and just exploring and having a good time with my friends. That's what I like.
yeah.
It just started not loving riding my bike with this crazy structure of what I had to do. So I just started thinking like, all right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those are going to be my easy days. And I'm going to try and invite people that I really like. But maybe our skill set isn't as aligned as,
Right.
maybe others. And it would be just a fun social ride. So if I can talk and just enjoy riding with my friends, and it brings some of that, what I love about riding back into my life. And then the days that are like really hard, I'll invite maybe a different crew that are people that are, going to make me chase them. You know what I mean? Like, so like, all right, on a hard day, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we're going to go really hard, and we're going to push up things like Squaw Peak or Alpine Loop, or, do different things that are going to really stretch us. This summer we did a handful of these. It was really fun, like Eric Ellis and Corby and Jesse Loper, Mike Johnston, several of the Mi Duole guys like rolled up to this. But we had a Tuesday team time trial, and I just planned like a route that was here in Utah County down by West Mountain, and it was like, all right, let's just go as hard as we can. The object isn't to shell people off the back. The object is to work as hard as we can without that happening. Cool. And if you're stronger, stay on the front longer. And if you have to drop off, then you drop. But days like that are just super fun. You get to ride with good people, and then you get that training impetus in where you still have hard days mixed in, but you give yourself some recovery time. And the recovery time's piece that I didn't really understand when I started riding. It was like I was going like balls to the wall,
every day,
6 days a week. So then I kind of realized, I started to learn like, oh, that's not great, because your body needs time to recover and get stronger, and then you need that time to recover and do the easy rides. So
smart.
When
you look at the position that you're in right now with Zone 5, I am interested in your perspective. Like if you had the audience of your team, or I guess any team really, what have you learned in your position about being part of this community that like maybe you didn't know, or maybe just you would want to share, you want to express like, hey, this is maybe how to get the most out of it, or maybe this is the guys that are doing it right in your eyes. Like, what do you see from your perspective when it comes to interacting with this community?
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to your team, really, because I think every time I've ridden with your team in races or in rides, or, just bumping into people on climbs or whatever, everybody's always such a good ambassador of the sport, meaning like they're strong, they ride hard, they know what they're doing, they're safe, but they're also just like good human beings, and they care about other people. And I think what I like is the definition of culture. I'm a farmer's son, right? So the definition of culture, one of the definitions that I like a lot is values, beliefs, and behaviors that are passed on from one generation to the next. So if you've got, good values, beliefs, and behaviors, your team is spending a lot of time with each other. You know what I mean? If I'm going to sacrifice early mornings and long, Saturday rides or whatever, I want to be with people that I enjoy, that are fun. And so, I think it's good to have people with similar values, beliefs, and behaviors as you, and that really allows you to have a strong culture. But like, for getting really nerdy, you're kind of seeing some of the pieces about, from me, but culture and cultivate used to be the same word in Latin, which is cultus, right? So if you think about it, when you go to the doctor and they check you for strep throat, they're taking the throat culture. They're seeing what can grow in there, right? So ideally, you want to create the ideal growing conditions to have a good, healthy community and culture. So, finding ways to do that is important. And sometimes it's, one of the things that I love that just shows the values, beliefs, and behaviors from Mi Duole is this Canyons challenge that we did. Got the Canyons challenge there, but it was such a cool thing. It was easy to promote. It was like, hey, yeah, you guys need to show up for this ride. It's good. It's for a good cause. It's a fun ride. It's good people. Like, it showcases the values, beliefs, and behaviors that the team represents, and allows people to grow and get better in more ways than one. So I would say kind of, look for people who can make you stronger on the bike. But if you can be around people that make you a better human being, then you're really winning. You know what I mean?
Very cool.
So anyway, I mean, it's tough. There's so many different things to look at, with cycling in terms of, I can tell Lang is one of those guys that like knows all the details about all the mechanics. It's like, I'm thinking about one by and this build and he's got all these. He puts a lot of time and effort into some of those pieces, and rightly so. I mean, there's that whole marginal gains kind of team sky concept that comes into play for us all, but a lot of information, so cool. I guess that's what I would say. I rambled on too long.
No, that was great. It was great. None of it rambles. All right, some rapid fire here. We're kind of coming in for landing. Favorite, so beyond LOTOJA, maybe like favorite ride experience you've ever had?
I would probably say White Rim.
Okay. And you're doing it Friday. You're doing it
Friday. Yeah.
This week you're going again. Okay. Maybe just a brief follow-up question. How come? Was it because it was awful, or just because all the things?
We just laughed so much on that ride. And it's level 10 beauty. If you haven't been there, it's extremely pretty. And all the hallmarks, it's long, you suffer a long time, you pedal a lot, you laugh with your buddies. It's just great.
Cool. Favorite, what's your go-to post ride meal or treat?
Ooh,
whole pizza, whole box of mac and cheese.
I love a good burger with some fries. Maybe a shake or some chocolate milk, afterwards. I love doing rides up in Midway because you got Granny's and Dairy King burgers are just so good.
Nice.
That's half the reason I ride bikes, is so I can eat, but anyway.
All right. Any bike you're looking at, dream bike?
Honestly, Hangar 15 just hooked me up with a specialized tarmac.
I saw this.
It's a S-Works specialized tarmac, which I've always kind of just totally envied and wanted one of them. And
cool.
It's so great, man.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. So that was kind of my list, and I just recently got it right before the Canyons challenge.
Dreams fulfilled.
Yeah.
All right. Go-to favorite book, podcast, like who do you turn to for inspiration?
Podcast. That just varies. I do have like a lot of business books that I listen to, and I would say probably I keep these up there because I like them a lot. These three,
those are good to great. Power Moments, Dan Heath, that's great.
Yep, and then the Power of Habit.
Cool. Those are great.
So those are
good books.
Go-tos. Grit, very applicable to cycling as well.
Yeah.
So, those are good ones.
Very good.
I do like a Joe Rogan podcast. He's fun to listen to.
Nice.
Jocko Willink's good.
Jocko. Yeah. Good. Cool. Yeah. If you had you're going out on a ride, new guy, you see young Joe, he's just picked up his Roubaix, and he's like, "Hey man, give me some advice." What are you telling young Joe about anything? You can kind of go, you can freestyle here, whether it's family, church, cycling, work. What kind of advice are you giving young Joe if you met yourself?
Um, you know, I would just say have faith in yourself,
Hmm.
you know. One of the things that I saw on 30 for 30 ESPN,
Mm-hmm.
which was the one with Shohei Ohtani. If you follow baseball, this guy's like one of the greatest guys to ever play
Right?
the sport, you know.
Yeah.
And he wrote these goals down that were like stupid
Crazy.
goals,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, like that he wouldn't have wanted to show to anyone else, or they would have thought he was an idiot.
Right. When he was like a kid, like a
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So he like locked these goals up. But he had them in his mind. He knew what he wanted to achieve, you know. It's like when you had not laying on Justin Spangler on, where he was
Mm-hmm.
like, I was a marathoner and decided I wanted to win LOTOJA. And it was like, oh, okay,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
buddy. You know, like, if you'd have met him that day, you would have probably been like, all right, Sparky, like keep it up, you know. But like
Not
I mean,
Sparky,
it
Nubs.
happened.
Thanks,
You know what I
Nubs.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you dream big and you're willing to align your day-to-day activities with your desired outcome, then it almost becomes more of a question of when it will happen versus if it will happen. There's some other things, genetics, you know, that pesky thing has to play into cycling, but for business, for marriage, for church, for sports, I mean, that's what it really comes down to is decide what you really want to achieve and then align your day-to-day activities with where you want to go.
I love that. Very cool, Joe. If there was anything that we didn't say, anything that we missed here, that you want to share, like story or your philosophy, your motto in life, anything we missed that you want to make sure we get in?
No, I mean, I'm just grateful for the cycling community that we have.
Me too.
Um, I think, you know, what Mi Duole is doing is awesome. Zone 5 is an amazing team.
Yeah.
Nebo Cycling, Trizon, Ascent. You know, we've got all these amazing teams, you know, people that you've had on before as well. You know, I know I'm forgetting Zane's team. You know,
Mhm.
Zane Miller is a stallion. He's done great, and the fact that everybody gets to come together, get to compete with each other, ride with each other for fun. Um, you know, it's beautiful. Like recently, um, my friend Kevin passed away. It was on the Trizon team, and his funeral had like 50 cyclists there. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It was just beautiful that there was that many people that were willing to, you know, come together, and the community is an awesome thing. And together we're stronger. It's a fun sport.
I agree. And I also think that there's something God-given about our desire to gather together. Like the community is part of, I think, just our natural makeup. It makes us better. It helps each of us just kind of deal with whatever is happening, whether we're learning from each other or teaching each other. I would echo your comments that I think community is it's just like part of human life, like part of the need. And cyclists are weird enough that they just love to kind of like, they just, it's rare you find like a loner that's like, I don't want to be with you guys. Like I'll just do this alone. This
We're called
sports,
triathletes. No,
they're
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just
it
teasing, guys. We
it
love you.
it
No,
just
but
seems like the community in general, and I would echo you, is an incredible place, like for people to come together. And I would say at Zone 5, you guys have done an incredible job with the women of the sport. Like
they're
big,
stupid fast.
I mean, big kudos to you guys for the women that are drawn to Zone 5 and the community that they've created. We just don't see it a lot. And I love that about what you guys have built. So
We,
nice job.
it's pretty wild. We actually have a former Olympian on our team, and there's other girls that are on the team that are like, if I can get to a climb before them, the top of a climb before them, I'm like, yes. They're just fast, and the
Yeah,
women's dynamic on our team is definitely cool, but I'd
very
love to
cool.
see more.
Me
One
too.
of the things that I would say to the community is come out and race.
Hmm.
Come out and race. Cycling in general, the local race scene's kind of died down a little bit,
Yeah.
which is a little bit tragic because it's a cool scene, and with cycling, sometimes you just go in and get your feet wet. You don't need to go in and necessarily have to go in and win the race, but go in and learn, and you'll be shocked how much fun you're having. Like whether it's cyclocross, which is happening right now with UTCX,
Yeah.
or it's Goshen or Wattfest or Antelope Island or Sugar House Grid or whatever, just jump in. You'll find it's a lot more fun than you think, and it's not expensive, and it will make you a better, the friendly competition will make you a lot better
Yeah.
cyclist for sure.
Well, and I would even echo this beyond if you listening don't understand what's happening with our high school NICA leagues, you are severely out of touch with where the funnel of these new young riders is coming from. I mean, Utah has 7,700 NICA racers, the second largest group of racers in the United States behind California. And it's a very interesting world. The funnel that it is creating for young riders to enter into cycling. The problem is we're seeing is that when it ends, um, you are correct, Joe, in like, well, now what?
Mhm.
Local racing's kind of like not great. It's like it's like on the edge, and these high school racers are like, well, what do I do now? Because NICA's like so organized. It's very well done. I mean, there are some hangups with how many kids are participating, but um, I would say from my perspective as a dad, having a kid that's like, well, I like to ride bikes. Like, oh, that's cool. But when we like train for a goal, when we have a race, when we see competition, when you're put in a situation that's like, this kind of sucks, like this is very challenging. It was really fun to see my daughter be like, how do I respond to this experience? And without that racing, we would never have it. We would still just be kind of puttering around, riding moped, and like, which is fun. But I agree with you that there is something special that happens when you sign up for those events and you go all in. You go and have fun and race and meet people. And I mean, my best friends come from competition. Like that's
Mhm.
where
Absolutely.
I've met all these people. So I agree with you. It's a
It's
tricky world to navigate, but definitely worth it.
how, I mean, here's a question for you.
Uh-oh.
I my kids just don't like riding bikes.
Hmm.
Enough tried, but it's there's that like whatever meme from Matt Damon that's like the kid's like, that's your dream, dad.
Hmm.
And he's like, it's a good dream.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's me sometimes with bikes, but my son likes football and basketball and all
Mm.
great. That's awesome. My daughter, you know, hopefully she'll come back to liking to ride bikes again when she's older. But what have you felt like has been a good way to get kids into cycling,
Mm.
to mountain biking?
Yeah, I'll give you two examples that I learned from mentors. One, David Britton, is called Forced Family Fun. Uh,
I like it.
they we are going out, and this is what we are doing as a family. And
Mhm.
I don't think there was ever a time where both of my girls were compliant when we went out, especially when they were younger. They were just like whiny, 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 and all kids are like this. But then my other mentor, Spencer Chipping, he taught me that when you take a kid skiing, no kid likes to ski. but they do like hot chocolate, and they do like all the things that you can associate skiing with. And so he was like, when you first take your kids skiing, it's not about skiing. It's about, hey, we'll do a run and then we'll get a whatever. We'll go. And so I kind of incorporate both of those with our young kids when they were riding, which was, hey, how can cycling lead to the fun part? But I mean, the forced family fun is part of it. It's like, I'm not a jerk, I'm not a tyrant, but I don't think there was ever a time where we like went out and then while we were out there, they were just like, I hate you, this is the worst. I mean, it always ended well. It ends fun when you're not a doofus dad, like yelling at your kids. We tried to keep it fun and have good equipment and what, I don't know, like I mean, it's not that hard. It's like otter pops and treats. I mean, you can do that for young kids. But I would definitely say that there was never a time when my kids were like, yay, let's go. Like they're not like that. They're still not like that. They don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just finished up the state weekend and we were like, hey, let's go ride Sunday. And they were like, absolutely not. We're not going out. And we made it about, well, we'll get sodies. That's what we got. We'll get sodies after, like, and that's fun. But I mean, I don't know if that answered your question, but
no, that's actually really, I really value. I mean, I laugh about the forced family fun, but to a certain degree, kids aren't going to want to do some things that are good for them,
Right.
And you have like type 1 type of fun, which is like, yay, I'm riding, Splash Mountain at Disneyland, which is great. But when you're done, who cares? Are you going to be telling everybody about how you rode Splash Mountain? Nobody cares. The type 2 kind of fun is sometimes not happy or fun at the moment. You're especially cycling. It's like, my legs hurt, Dad. This,
right.
I'm
it's weeks later.
It's hot,
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, I freaking did that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like serving with the youth. If you're taking them on a backpacking trip, same. They're not like all clicking the hills.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you get done. Like we took a bunch of boys through Coyote Gulch, and there's backpacking and rappelling and climbing up big sand dunes, and there's all these natural arches, and it's pretty adventurous, sometimes scary, but when they got done, they still talk about it, but going into it, they were kind of dragging their heels, and same with winter camping when I take myself doing that.
Trek.
Yeah, you were Ma and Pa, right? Did I see that?
No, me and Kristen were Trek masters this last summer.
Trek masters. It's like, don't sell me short, Joe.
Yeah, so talk about complaining.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the tips because it's I think that's important for other dads and moms out there to.
Well, and I mean I wouldn't be so committed to it if I didn't recognize how much I believe this sport is just the coolest sport ever. I mean, it's like kids learn to solve problems. Like, oh, congratulations, you trained for a race, you poured your heart into it, and in the first 10 minutes, everything has unraveled for you. How are you going to deal with that? Like, that is such a great thing to teach a kid. You learn to look back on like a training plan and be like, dang, I accomplished it, or I didn't accomplish it. And so I got what I put into it. Like, what a fun thing to teach a kid. And like high school training in NICA provides community, like so fun for these kids to like show up with a team and race with guys that aren't my dad. Like, I don't always have to be like with my dad. Like, he's such a drag. Like, my youngest doesn't, she just wants to do it on her own.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just think it's such a great program, and I wouldn't be so passionate about cycling if I didn't see all the great thing. I mean, we've had all these episodes where all these people come on here and talk about how, like you put it in your document, we didn't talk about it. It was like, dude, give me a therapist if I don't have this activity.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great way to kind of cope with all that neat stuff. So anyway,
especially for kids right now.
Yes.
They need it more than ever.
They do. And they need to look back and be like, dude, I did that hard thing. Like it was not great, and I did it, and it was awesome. So
I think that probably one piece that I would say I would tell myself as a younger kid is, doing hard things is fun.
mhm.
And when you're younger, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's hard. And I think human beings are wired to get satisfaction and enjoyment out of working hard. And if you can learn
Yes.
to harness that and recognize that from a career standpoint, family standpoint, sports standpoint, church, it will help you. So,
I agree. Cool. All right, Joe, what's next? What's on the docket? You going to be on Zwift, or what do you do in the winter? What are you looking forward
I'll
to?
probably be joining some of your guys'
Okay, great.
you
I
know?
haven't joined one yet, so
I have a little Zwift group that we do in the winter, which is cool. But sometimes I jump on the Mi Duole rides.
okay,
That's
great.
one of the things that you guys are so good at. I mean, I think two of the things I would know Mi Duole from
Yeah,
would be like awesome Zwift winter program and LOTOJA. Like I
yeah,
think those are two things that like your team does really well and takes pretty serious. Or at least a lot of people do, I show up to. Doing White Room,
yeah.
so that'll be fun. Hopefully Spencer's coming. I told him you should make
Cool.
it. That'll be good. And then next year I think I'm gonna do LOTOJA again. I
Okay.
took this year off, but we'll see if I can. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. There, I've
Dude, you
never
got it.
won.
You're gonna get
So,
it. Cool.
yeah.
All right, Joe. Well, appreciate you. Appreciate you for all you do in the community. It is kind of obviously, like you said, it's a big job, but well worth it. So let's give you thanks where thanks is deserved, and grateful you'd be on here for a minute with us. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, brother.